Welcome to New Life Conversions. Thanks for choosing our van. We know it's quite a process for you. We'd like to show you what's all involved with our van to make this a simple, fun vacation for you. We provided this really handy step to get in and out of the van, but the important part is to remember to put it back before you drive off. The height in this van, I'm about 6 feet tall, and so you can see it's about 6 feet 2. The only place you might have to duck in the van is just getting in and out of the van a little bit. But other than that, I'm 6 feet tall, and if you're 6 feet 1 or shorter, you don't even feel like you need to duck in the van. The main galley light is right here. We've got the USB outlets, electrical outlets in several locations, light switches for the shower and the toilet area, one above the sink, and of course some in the back.
There's a couple light switches up here. This one right here is your dimmer for the overhead light. So you can bring that down before you go to bed, or to turn it off, you just flip this switch right here. These two light switches, the one on the right is kind of like a night light. And so right over here, it turns on a red light underneath the toe kick of the cabinet. And you can just leave that on all night so that when you need to get up and use the bathroom, you can see where you're going, but it won't wake up whoever you're sleeping with. The next one is just for fun, and this is a mood light that will go right here and be up at the front too. So to run the air conditioner, all you have to do is press the power button. That turns it on. It has a warm-up cycle, a couple of minutes before it actually starts cooling. But if you see up here, the set temperature is what shows immediately. And so if you want to change that, you click the up and down arrows, just like a normal thermostat, to get it to be set at whatever you want. So all of these controls can also be performed on the remote control for the air conditioner, which is stored right here in the top drawer. The outlets are on 2 breakers. So the first one is called galley outlets, and that includes the outlet right here and the outlet right here. The other breaker contains all the rest of the outlets in the van. So there's one right here, and there's one up in this upper cabinet above the fridge. The GFCI outlet is the first in the line. So if you notice this outlet's not working or this outlet's not working, the first thing you should try is to reset the GFCI breaker just like you would in a house. The screen right here is basically your headquarters for everything electrical or plumbing in the van. On the right-hand side of the screen, you can see this box is showing the capacity of your freshwater tank, and then below it is the capacity of your gray water tank. And so it's showing 88% right now, means we're almost full on the fresh water, that's good. And the gray water is 0%. So this will fill up as it gets full. And once it gets 100%, then, or any time in between, definitely before you come back, return the van, you'll want to empty the gray water tank down below. The only other reason you would look at this screen is to give you a snapshot of the battery capacity. So right now it's showing we're at 86%. Anything above 20% is totally fine. Don't need to worry at all. For those of you who are more curious, on the sides it'll show you some data as far as what your 120 volt AC loads are using, how much solar you're getting, and if you're plugged in for power at a campsite, how much power you're pulling in from the grid. If you notice that the battery percentage goes below 20%, you'll probably start to hear a dinging, and that's the alarm telling you that the batteries are getting low. So you have a couple of options of what you can do. The thing you need to do is get the batteries up above 20% as fast as possible. So you can either start the van engine, that will charge the batteries. You could find an outlet, so you could plug the van into the outlet and that'll charge the batteries. Or you could find some sun. To use the induction cooktop, after you plug it in, you'll see blinking lights here. It's not ready to use. First, you'll need to click the on button, and then next you'll use the plus and minus to select the temperature that it's at. This is an induction cooktop, which is nice to know that even when it's on, you can put your hand on it and it won't get hot. It doesn't get hot until you put an induction compatible pan on top of it. And it actually doesn't heat up this surface, it heats up the pan itself. And so if you find yourself wanting a specific pan, you go out and buy something for the van for your trip, you have to make sure it's induction compatible, otherwise it will not work with this cooktop. If you blow a breaker, or you're trying to work something but it just doesn't seem to work when it should, like the water pump or something like that, you'll want to come back here and check the breakers. So how you open this is you click it, and then it's still locked. It's not going to open until you twist this, and then it'll open up. So we've got two sets of switches. This top part is what's called your DC loads, which is 12 volts and below. And then down here is your AC loads, which is 120 volts. If you blow an outlet, like you're using a blender or coffee maker or something, you'll want to come back here and the switch will look like this one right here. If you blow it, it'll automatically trip and you'll just reset it just like that. Same thing goes for these DC breakers. If you notice one of these are off when they should be on, you can just come and flip it back.
Well, the swivel seat process works like this, where you come down below and you operate this black bar, and you usually have to push the seat forward to get it so that when you spin it around, it clears the steering wheel. Then there's a little red button on the other side of the seat. Turn the seat around and it does not lock into this position. It'll continue to be swivel. It'll only lock in the forward position. So when operating the table, if you're using this as a single person, you could operate with your computer right here, versus if you're wanting to sit over there, you could do that, or you're just having lunch, you bring it between the two. In order to make this into a bed, this has to be removed with the bar underneath here that takes this off, and we usually just store it in between the two seats. This seat will swivel as well, and nice part about this feature right here is that when you do swivel this seat around, which it swivels the same, that way your feet aren't dangling down and with nothing to put your feet on, and you can sit here comfortably. We do have all the conveniences of home. We got a little cover here, so in case you need a little bit more countertop room. Then of course we've got the hot water side, cold water side, depending on what your needs are. We prefer that you don't use this cover as a cutting board on either side. We did provide a cutting board in the bottom drawer that you can use instead of this. The drawers that we provided in the van latch shut with these slam latches, and that's so that when we're driving, the drawers don't come in and out. But when the drawer is closed, it has to be basically slammed shut so that you ensure that it's closed before you take off on your journey. Top drawer, you can see silverware. Second drawer is some spices. Third drawer, bowls, plates, pots and pans. So lots of storage space in this van. The two nearest the bed my plan was when I built it was to have like a his and her storage bin for your clothes. And you can see that some of these other drawers, like this one, is designated for the stove top. Some of these other ones are empty for whatever it is that you have to bring along on your trip. Feel free to move things around. We want you to be comfortable on your vacation. This bottom drawer becomes really important when it comes to getting in and out of bed. The bed dimensions that we have are, it's 5 feet wide by 6 feet 6 inches long, so plenty long if you're 6 feet or taller like I am. And getting in and out of bed, I mean, we designed this drawer just for that specific reason, to pull it out and leave it locked in overnight, so you can get in and out of bed real easy.
So if you're trying to sleep at night and you hear something and you're wondering what it is, there's a handful of things it could be. So one is the fridge. The fridge turns on and off to keep the food cold. The other is this fan right here. So if you're parked somewhere where it's pretty hot, this fan is going to intermittently turn on and off. That's just to keep all the electronics safe. And then the last thing is the inverter itself, which is inside this cavity, has its own fan to keep it cool. And so any one of those three fans turning off and on at night, you may hear when you're trying to sleep.
We've got a fridge that we put right at waist level for you. It's got plenty of space for about 2-3 days worth of food in here. We do have a freezer compartment up above.
So you can change the temperature on the fridge. If you find your stuff in the freezer isn't freezing, or some of the things outside of the freezer are freezing, you can adjust that right here. This button will change the temperature setting. The smaller snowflake is warmer and the larger snowflake is colder.
Up above the fridge, we have this compartment that is big enough to put in a future microwave. For now, we have the hot water tea kettle, and we've also got the coffee pot and the coffee mugs. So underneath the sink, you'll find the garbage can, and then also some cleaning supplies, as well as a dish soap, hand soap. A couple of the features about the shower. One important thing is just the opening and closing of the door. The door itself, you just grab with 2 fingers and close shut. You just got to pull it forward, but then to close it, you want to push in, hang on to it, and then let it back in, because or else it can slam in, and we don't want to slam it in. The shower head itself removes. The idea behind the shower is not to stand in here and take a long, hot, relaxing shower because you're going to run out of water. The plan is you wet down, you lather up, and then you rinse off. So before you take a shower, you'll need to put the back on to cover that so that you don't get the toilet all wet. You can adjust your water temperature right here, but this actually turns the water on and off right here. So once you've got the water temperature set to where you want it to go, you can shut the water off just like this.
If the water doesn't come out of the faucet or the shower when you're expecting it to, you might have accidentally bumped the water pump switch. The switch is right here, and when it's illuminated blue, that means water will flow. If it's not illuminated blue, that means water will not flow. This is your first line of defense. If you ever see or hear something that sounds like a leak, make sure you start here and turn the water pump off.
Couple things about the garage. When you are opening and closing the doors, this one always opens first and that one second. Then same thing with closing it. This one gets shut first and then that one overlaps that one. The garage itself, we provide a table for the outside, a couple chairs, all the accessories to the van. Water for the shower on the outside here is all inside that cooler. The shore power plug, which is around on this corner, as well as a 50 feet of garden hose to fill up the water tank. Plenty of space to store all of your belongings.
Right here is the plumbing cabinet. All the plumbing components are in here, but there's really no reason you should ever need to go in there. So regarding your gray water tank, we use all the soaps that will come with the van are biodegradable, earth friendly. And so if you're out boondocking out in the middle of nowhere, you can just leave the gray water tank open and let it drain out. If you're at a campsite, they don't like that. And so you'll want to make sure that the valve is closed when you get to your campsite, and then you either stop at the dump station on your way out and just let it run, or wait till you get to your next boondocking spot and then you can let it run out there.
So this is a canister toilet. I mean, if you're familiar with how a diaper genie works, this is similar to that. And so you just, you push the button back here when it's time to flush. So after you do your business, it expands it out, twists it all together, then blows it back out again. And now you're ready for your next. This drawer is going to be the holder of some extra toilet paper, and then also this pea powder, which is used as a deodorizer. You can sprinkle it on your one-time use, or you can stockpile a bunch of it up and put it in there to use it to solidify it, and then you can flush it. You've only got 15 flushes in your canister toilet, and so flush sparingly.
When you get to the point where the toilet's full, and you'll know this because this silver lining right here, when you flush it, you know, it spins around and pulls it down. This will run out, so it'll be gone. So how you switch it out is you take your toilet lid off, and this just pulls right out. So I'm gonna take this and stick it right here, and there's a black bag on the inside that you'll pull up and just pull around the whole thing. This is totally fine to put in the trash can because it's all contained in a bag, and so you'll just take this and throw it in the trash. And then you come in here, there'll be a replacement canister inside this drawer here. So inside your replacement cartridge, you'll have a black bag like this. This will go in first. So you'll just stick this down to the bottom and fold the tops around the sides like this, so you can see to the bottom. The rubber band will go around to keep the bag in place so that when it comes time to actually remove it, it'll all be contained. So you'll see on your new cartridge, on the bottom, it's in this octagonal shape. So you'll just line that up on the inside of your toilet, drop it in, put it in there flat just like that, set this on top, grab your toilet lid. Oh, so this is slightly oval, so you'll want to make sure that the long ways is in this direction, and then it'll fit right on, and you can just give it a flush to spread it out just like that. So whenever you need to cover up all the windows in the van, we have window covers for you that are located down here. So you can open this up and pull them out, and there are 3 that are located down there, one for the windshield and then one for each of the side doors. There's a gray side, and a black side. You want to make sure the black side is facing out of the van. The window shades attach to the doors with magnets that are built in. And so all you have to do is find the metal part of the door and they'll clip right in. The window covers for these back 4 windows are going to be stored right here in the bed. So the one right here is for the window over here. The one right here is for this window. This one goes here. And then this one goes over on this window.
Window shade is just a single hand pull down, just like it would be if you're pulling down your shade in the house. Also the window cranks. You do have to close the windows down a little bit tighter or else they'll whistle at you when you're on the road. A feature that we were after for this van is to add the third person. So bringing along that third person, you need a place for them to sit and you need a place for them to sleep, which this actually converts down into a bed as well. You remove the table and you convert that into a bed.
So when you're ready to convert this chair into a bed, you'll start by removing the top of the table. So once you've loosened this hinge point here, you'll just lift it off and store it right in front of the seat. You'll grab this lever right here and pull the seat all the way forward. You'll remove your mattress and set it aside. So next you'll grab the lever back here, lift and slide the backrest all the way back. Then you'll take this lever and hold it while you rotate this seat all the way around, push it down flat and then release. And then next you'll take the headrest off by pushing the button on the side and lifting off. And then you'll grab this lever and while you hold it, push down all the way and release it. The last thing you'll do is you'll grab your mattress, set it on top, just going all the way across, and then any extra that you have can be tucked in behind that seat. If you noticed that the front of this seat is too high, you can adjust the direction of the bottom part of the seat with the levers on the side of the seat. So once you got your mattress on here, you can put a sheet around it, grab your pillow, and you're ready to relax. And to bring it back to the sitting position, you'll just take your mattress off, start with your backrest, folding that up, and then fold this guy back, grab the lever from behind to slide them together, and then grab the lever in the front to slide it back. So the mattress can go anywhere you want, but if you want to stow it behind the seat like we usually have it, you'll take it and you'll kind of fold it in on itself like this, with one flap sticking up higher than the other. Just stuff it in behind here, make sure it's all the way in, and then slide the chair all the way back. So when you're getting ready to drive away, make sure you check these things first. Number 1, make sure there's nothing on the counter. You don't want anything falling off when you're driving. Next, make sure nothing's plugged in. So these outlets here, the outlets down there, just make sure everything's unplugged before you leave. Also, all the drawers, just make sure, give them a good push shut, and if you hear it click, then you know it's shut all the way. Then make sure all the windows are closed. So you close these ones twisting clockwise. This window here will also be closed twisting clockwise, and then the awning windows in the back will also close. Lastly, you want to make sure you remember to take the step and put it in. So you'll lift up and then push it in and it'll click into place. This van is equipped with adaptive cruise control, and so the buttons are right here for your cruise control. The adaptive means it'll automatically slow down if there's a car in front of you that you're getting too close to. If you want to do that, before you start your cruise, you'll click this to enable the cruise control and then click your set for the speed. If you don't want to do that, but you still want to use normal cruise control, then you'll click this button to set normal cruise control to get it on, and then you'll set your speed just like you normally would. To adjust the seat, it's just like a normal car. You'll grab here, go forward and back. This dial is to adjust the backrest, but these levers will adjust the angle of this seat here. Before you bring the van back, there's a couple things you should check. So the first one is make sure the gas is filled all the way up. There's a gas station less than a mile from our shop, and so when you come to bring the van back, you can just stop there on your way.
Just takes regular unleaded gas.
And then also make sure you wash the outside at a car wash. You'll need to make sure that you go to a self-serve car wash because the normal drive-through ones don't fit a van this tall. And so the only thing to make sure you remember when you go to the self-serve car wash is that you end the wash cycle with the spot-free rinse. That makes a huge difference for how clean the van looks when you bring it back. When you bring the van back and you type in our address, it'll take you to this building. When you come in from the street, you'll see that there's a parking lot between two buildings, and then there's this parking lot on the south side of the south building. You'll want to come into the south parking lot on the south side of the south building. And when you come in, you'll see that we're number 13 right here, but really any of the spots along this whole parking lot, if it's open, you can park there. We are so thankful that you guys chose to rent one of our vans, and we hope that you have an awesome time on your vacation coming up.